Now we move on to Middle East. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has hailed a government's decision to establish a commission of inquiry into the October 7, 2023 attack, assuring the public that it would not be subject to political influence. The opposition and much of the Israeli public have called for an independent inquiry into the events leading up to and including the 2023 Hamas attack. Polls show more than 70% of Israelis want a state commission of inquiry independent of the government. Let's in fact listen into what President Netanyahu has shared.
ועדת השרים לענייני חקיקה אישרה היום את הצעת החוק להקמת ועדת חקירה ממלכתית מיוחדת. זאת תהיה ועדה שוויונית לחקר אירועי ה-7 באוקטובר והנסיבות שהובילו אליהם. עכשיו מדובר כאן בוועדת חקירה בלתי תלויה, עם סמכויות מלאות, בדיוק כפי שנקבע בחוק ועדות החקירה. בניגוד לניתן, פוליטיקאים לא יהיו חברים בוועדה. הרכב החברים בוועדה ייקבע באופן שוויוני, חצי על ידי הקואליציה וחצי על ידי האופוזיציה. הוועדה תורכב ממומחים בביטחון, באקדמיה, במשפט, וגם הורים שכולים שישמשו כמשקיפים.
Now for this discussion, we welcome Mr. Yossi Cooper-Rosser. He's an Israeli intelligence and security expert, joins us live from Tel Aviv. Thank you very much, Yossi, for joining us again. Now, Yossi, looking at this, what more can you tell us about this ongoing probe of the 2023 attack by Hamas and what has led to this attack?
Well, there's a long debate here in Israel on how to investigate what happened before October 7th and what happened on the day itself, and even after that. Everybody wants the investigation committee to be formed in a way that would guarantee the results of the investigation in advance. So the opposition wants a state commission to be responsible of that according to the law of state commission, which means that the Supreme Judge will decide who are going to be the members of this committee. And everybody knows that the Supreme Judge and judges in Israel are very much anti the government and are not trusted by the government and by some of the government supporters. Whereas the government wants to have a commission that will be made of half of the experts, as you just heard Prime Minister Netanyahu saying, half of the experts representing or chosen by the coalition, and half of them chosen by the opposition. The opposition refuses to go there because they want to see this state commission led by the Supreme Judge. And we are stuck with that, and the point is that the government started moving forward towards creating this state commission that they want, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be very difficult. I think it's going to be stuck.
So how do you think, how significant will be whatever comes out of this, and how credible are assurances that a government-established commission of inquiry, although you mentioned it's going to be half and half, how do you think they can operate without the current political influence or pressure from current government?
They can. If the opposition is going to support the government proposal, then they can. It's going to be half and half, as we say. But I'm afraid that the opposition is not going to go for that because they would like to see a commission that is on their side. That is created by the Supreme Judge that is supporting the opposition. And that's why they are not going to show any flexibility and readiness to accept a compromise. So I'm afraid we are not going to have an investigation committee. And this is a pity because many questions are left open and it's not clear what happened. And many people want to know who is responsible for what happened, much less than they want to know what happened. They think they know what happened, and they only want the commission to say he and he are to blame for that terrible fiasco.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for highlighting that, Mr. Yossi Cooper-Rosser. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now we stay in Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that Iran's nuclear activity will top the agenda when he meets US President Donald Trump next week. Speaking in Jerusalem alongside the leaders of Greece and Cyprus, Netanyahu said Israel is closely watching recent Iranian military exercises. Iranian state media reports missile drills across several cities. Tehran denies seeking nuclear weapons. Netanyahu has said that Israel is not looking for confrontation but wants stability, prosperity, and peace, while pushing for limits on Iran's uranium enrichment. He has said talks with President Trump will also focus on the next phase of the Gaza plan, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and preventing Houthi attacks on shipping. Israel, Greece, and Cyprus agreed to deepen security cooperation and advance energy transport and power link projects connecting the Middle East with Europe. Now for this discussion, we welcome back Mr. Yossi Cooper-Wasser. He's an Israeli intelligence and security expert, joins us live from Tel Aviv. Thank you very much, Mr. Yossi, for staying with us. Now, looking at this, a lot on the table for the upcoming U.S. President and Israeli Prime Minister meeting. What do you think, what will be a priority for them on the agenda on the upcoming talks?
Well, I think the priority is how to make the vision of peace and stability in the Middle East come true when the opponents of this peace are still able to operate and to control several areas of the Middle East and rebuild their capabilities. We see it with Hamas in Gaza, we see it with Hezbollah in Lebanon, and we see it with the Iranians rebuilding their missile capabilities after what happened in Operation Rising Lion in June 2025. So we are watching that and we are concerned, and so are the Americans, I guess, although they create the impression that everything is fine. And everything is not fine, and something needs to be done with all these fronts. I think the most pressing one is the Gaza one, where we have to bring about the end of the Hamas rule over Gaza and disarm this terror organization. And this is a part of the plan that President Trump has prepared for the region. And this is critical to be executed as soon as possible. Then there is Hezbollah's disarming that is a task of the Lebanese government, and they fail to do that. They create the impression that they make progress, but in fact, it's very limited progress, and much depends on what Israel is going to do. And I think Israel is going to continue putting pressure on Hezbollah in order to allow the Lebanese government a better chance of disarming this terror organization. And then finally, there's this question of the missiles production in Iran. On the one hand, we have to do something about it as soon as possible because it is creating a critical threat to Israel. But on the other hand, we need the Americans on our side, and I think this is going to be a crucial issue when Netanyahu comes to Mar-a-Lago, because the Americans seem to prefer dealing with this matter through sanctions and through political pressure. And the fact is that it doesn't seem that these pressures are making enough impression on the Iranian government, and they continue to develop their capabilities to hit Israel, and are not shy about it. They show it all over the place, and they speak about it and threaten Israel. So Israel, with the lessons we learned from the 7th of October, we know that we cannot leave these kind of threats unchecked. And this is going to be a matter of discussion between the Prime Minister and President Trump.
Thank you for highlighting that. And Yossi, lastly, looking at this, while U.S. President is involved in many other peace mediating, and not just only between Hamas, Gaza, and Israel, how effective do you think his mediation has been so far? And moving on, what do you think he shouldn't be missing so that these ceasefire talks hold on and hold ground, and they